Welcome back to Zackus. I'm so glad you joined me for another video. Today is all about routers, and I'm going to compare the Eero 6 to the brand new Eero 6 to the brand new Google Wi-Fi, and we're going to get into the pros and cons of both. If you're looking for a router that's good for you, watch this video. I'm going to go through everything and tell you which one's my favorite. Here we go. Okay, so a lot of you guys have seen my other router videos, you're subscribers, or you're looking for a router, and you commented about the Eero 6. Is it good? Is it bad? So I picked it up, I tried it out, I went through everything, and I wanted to tell you guys all about it. And so I've got a video on the details of this, but I also wanted to do some comparison videos because I know a lot of you guys are like me and you're comparing it with Google and Orbi, Netgear, all the ones out there, Asus and stuff. So I just want to do some comparison videos. Google, you know, I was a huge fan of the Google Wi-Fi, which is, if I can pick it up, which is right here, the 3-pack. I used it for years, my family's used it, some of my family still uses it. And then Google released their update version to their Google Wi-Fi, and they decided to call it, bring it into the Nest family, which is Google owned, and call it Nest Wi-Fi. They also reduced it from a 3-pack to a 2-pack, saying that that's enough now because of the new technology, that all you need is 2-packs. I have not found that to be the case. I still needed 3 around my 2,500 square foot house. You may not find that to be true. I've got some people that say they get really great speeds with just 2, and others that say they need 3 or 4. So it really just depends on your house, the shape of your house, when your house was built, and what's in your walls that could be obstructing your wireless signals. The new Nest Wi-Fi is beautiful. It comes with this beautiful new rounded curve matte white design. It also comes in a light blue and a light peachy pink color, so you have some options that fit into your decor. It does also, the one point that comes with it is also a Google Assistant, so you can say, hey Google, what's the weather and stuff. So you're kind of getting an extra stuff there. And then you do get faster speeds with this than you do with the Google Wi-Fi, but not much. It comes in lower in the speed rating than this does by all my research and by my own account. And it does not have Wi-Fi 6, even though it was just released. They opted not to do Wi-Fi 6. But it will do 3 times 3 connections. So if you have a device that has 3 antennas, it will use 3 antennas to connect to it to manage that speed and give you consistency. So there's some advantages here. One of the things they took away from the Google Wi-Fi and Eeros took away was the point has no more network connections, wired network connections. So it's just a plug, you plug it in, and it's the Google Assistant. Your only network connections are in the router, which is now deemed the router, and it has 2 Ethernet ports and the plug-in. This is the same way. It has a router, which they call a gateway. Amazon calls it gateway. Same thing. It has 2 1 gigabyte Ethernet ports and your plug-in, and then it has 2 satellite points that are just plug-ins. You do not get Alexa or anything with this. And this runs about $270 and this runs about $270. So they're comparable in price, except you get 3 with this. And with the Amazon one, it says it does up to 5,000 square feet and it does up to 500 megabytes per second. Now this one can do up to a gig and this one can do up to 500. So you've got some downside there, but if you have Wi-Fi 6 devices, you really want Wi-Fi 6 because it's more stable, it's more fast, more consistent, and just a lot of stuff there, especially if you have a lot of devices, it's going to handle it better. So there's some trade-offs in both, but if you're at 500 megabytes or under with your internet service provider like AT&T, Comcast, Frontier, Fios, whatever you have, if you're at 500 megabytes download speed, or lower, like 250, 100, either one of the 3 of these is going to work great. Either one of the 2 of these is going to work great. I would recommend this one because if you're an Amazon person, you're going to connect your Amazon account. It has Zigbee hub in it, so it will connect to all your smart devices. You won't need a hub to do that. It has some just really good advantages. This one I've tried 2 or 3 times now on videos and with friends and stuff, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. I get inconsistent speeds, I get drops. My Google Wi-Fi that's older does better, in my opinion, than this does. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I have friends that love it, that get really crazy speeds and consistent speeds. So I just think maybe because I'm on AT&T, sometimes they have some wonky setups and it can cause some issues. And that differs from region to region. So AT&T in another place can be really, really great. I found that other people have not had the same experience I've had. And when I was on Fios and when I was on Frontier and I've been on Comcast, I have different experiences there with cable and fiber optics and all that kind of stuff. So I have a GigaLine. So if you're watching my other videos, you'll see that I went with Orbi because it just handles faster speeds. But if you're in the middle of the road, like some of my family and friends are, and you just need a good solid router, I would recommend the Amazon Eero 6. It is easy to set up. The app is super simple. So is Google, and Google collects your data. I'm sure Amazon's going to collect your data, so you're about equal there depending on who you're loyal to or what your fandom is there. If you're an Android user and a Google user, you may prefer Google. I would suggest you try the Google Wi-Fi, but you may love the Google Nest Wi-Fi. And that's pretty much the pros and cons. There's not a lot there other than this is new, offering a little bit more newer technology with the Wi-Fi 6 and more RAM in it. This offers some more advantages that this doesn't have. So you kind of are in the middle of the road here. This definitely performs faster on speed tests on all across the board for me and other people that have researched it. So Google has definitely fallen down the ranks there. And then you go up and up to Orbi 6, AX6000, which is just peaking, at high points. So I hope this video helps you. It's supposed to be a really quick video just to show you the two differences. And if you have a question about Wi-Fi, you don't know what a router is, an internet service provider is the ISP. They're like AT&T, Frontier, Comcast, any of those. They have to provide internet into your house. So they provide it through a wired connection most of the time, unless you have HughesNet or something that's coming through the internet, through the satellite. And then a Wi-Fi router like one of these disperses that internet around your house in a wireless format so that your phone, iPad, tablet, computers, TVs, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, whatever you have can connect to that Wi-Fi. And then based on what kind of Wi-Fi router you have, it manages the speed, the stability, and if you have a lot of devices, how it handles those devices and keeps everything running, and what kind of intelligence it has. And this is considered a mesh Wi-Fi network system because it has more than one router. Like in the old days, and even still to this day, you can buy a router, a wireless Wi-Fi router. It's one thing, and it disperses the internet around your house from that one thing. Now what happens with that is the further it goes, the weaker it goes. So about 10 years ago, they started creating mesh systems. Mesh systems are where you basically have points or satellites, depending on what they call them, that set around your house, and it boosts the Wi-Fi signal around your house. And it also has a more intelligent system, so that if you're in your living room with your phone and you're upstairs with a smart Wi-Fi bulb or something, your system knows and can connect to the right one that's closest to it and manage which one's active and which one's not, and just keep your system kind of stabilized and giving you the max speeds to the devices that you're using at the time. So if you're streaming a 4K television show on Netflix, you want it to be, fully attention to that and several other devices, like maybe you're also looking at your phone, but you don't want it worried about other things like your light bulbs and stuff. So that's something else that all mesh systems are offering. And then there's deeper levels, like does it use, like these two and the Google Wi-Fi use their own system to talk between each of these. So you're also getting network communication between these wirelessly on the same network that you're connected to. And then if you go up to higher tiers, like if you watch some of my other videos, like the Orbi 6, it has what's called a backhaul channel. So it's a whole separate network that it talks to all the satellites and doesn't cause any kind of noise, is what it's called, on your network that you're using. So I don't know how deep you want to get. This is more for like just a normal user. You have a 5,000 square foot home or less, usually around 2,500, 3,000 is the average. And you just want something that works really well for your 500 megabytes or lower and gives you, 200-300 megabytes to your phone, to your computer. So you just can rely on it. Either any of these three that I've mentioned are going to do that. These two are certainly going to do that. And if you want my recommendation, I recommend the Eero 6. If you have a higher connection, like 1 gigs, or even some people have 1.5 gigs, you can bump up to the Eero Pro 6, which is the next step up. It's about $600. It will do 6,000 square feet and 1 gig plus of speed, and it has a lot of more options like Ethernet ports on all the points and satellites, and a lot of extra memory and RAM and stuff like that. And then you can go up to the Orbi 6 or the AX4200 Orbi and get 5 gig, 6 gig speed. So it really has some room to handle everything. And it has all those gigabyte Ethernet ports that you need and extra ports that you need. And then if you need like storage, USB storage, you can go up to different ones. Like there's just so many choices. But this video is for the average home that's 3,000 square feet, 3,500 square feet, lower, that really needs a 3-pack, because 2-pack is never really going to be enough. I don't think, unless you're in a smaller house or a really open house that has no walls, open concept, and you just want a really easy setup, stable setup, something that you don't have to really worry about. It just works for you. These are going to be it, and I recommend the Amazon Eero 6. My links are always right below the video in what's called the description. Right below the video, you'll see description. You can see the links, the pricing, get information. Comments are right below that. You can ask me any questions you need that I'll be happy to help you any way I can. And if you use my links, it does support the channel just a little bit. And please hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. We'd love to have you part of the Zackis family. It's free to do so. Cancel at any time. You'll get notified first when I put up videos like this. I've got another comparison video coming, another video about routers, and you want to be notified first about that, and some other cool stuff, things for men, connected home, all kinds of cool stuff. So become part of the Zackis family. Hit the thumbs up, and I will catch your beautiful faces in the next Zackis video. Peace.